Who pays for the experts if you're thinking about bringing a medical malpractice or a birth injury case? Want to know what I'm getting at here? Stay with me as I share with you this very important information. Hello, I'm Marcus Boston, and I am a childbirth injury and medical malpractice attorney practicing law in the state of Maryland. And I would like to quickly talk with you today about a question that I had to answer, or I had to deal with a little bit ago. And that question dealt with the person who was concerned about the fact that their child had suffered an injury at birth, and they had taken the time to look at some of my other videos and try to learn more about the process in the state of Maryland, and they had questions about this expert thing. All right, before I answer that question, I want to jump back and help you understand how do we go about proving birth injury cases in the state of Maryland and why expert testimony is so important. All right, so to be successful in these types of cases, you must prove that your treating doctor fell below the standard of care owed to you and your child, and by doing that, that departure from the standard is what caused the injury. So to be successful, you have to have medical experts who will give testimony and who will give opinions as to what was the standard of care. Did the treating doctors and nurses, did they fall or did they deviate from that standard of care? And if they did deviate from that standard, that is what caused your baby's injury or your injury. So you have to have these experts in place. Now, back to the question of who pays for it. That is something that you're going to have to make sure that you have a good answer for this question if you're thinking about contacting an attorney, because different law firms may do it different in the state of Maryland. But in general, like for example, if you contact my office, we will pay for the medical experts. So in other words, the cost of the medical experts will be fronted by the law firm. Now remember, I'm talking about my law firm in general, so you want to make sure that you have a good understanding if you're thinking about going with other law firms. But how this generally will play out is that the lawyers will put up the money for the experts. They will put up the money for the filing fees, depositions, and things like that. And then at the end of the case, they will then take these costs, or they will be reimbursed from these costs at the end of the case, either through a jury verdict or through a settlement or other resolution of the case. Now, like I said, you want to make sure though that you speak with the individual attorney that you're dealing with. You got to make sure that you understand how they are dealing with costs and who's going to pay for the experts. But in a lot of cases, in general, most of the time, the medical malpractice attorney will put up the money for the costs for the experts. So why have I taken the time today to talk with you about this really important information? Because I'm giving you insight into this process in the state of Maryland. More than likely, if you're watching this video, maybe your baby has suffered an injury at birth and you're concerned about the challenges going forward. You're concerned about how you're going to afford a wheelchair, or maybe your house needs to be retrofitted, or maybe there's some type of special therapy that your child needs, and you're concerned about how are you going to meet these challenges? How is your baby going to be able to deal with this stuff going into the future? If you have these types of questions and concerns, this is what I invite you to do. And remember, taking this next action, it costs you absolutely nothing. And what is that action? To pick up the phone and give me a call. I can be reached at 301-850-4832, or if you prefer, you can send me an email also to medicalinjury@bostonlawllc.com. You can also reach me toll free if you've got a birth injury related question. You can reach me at 1-833-4BABY-HELP. If you're on my website, be sure that before you leave that you go ahead and download that free e-copy of our birth injury book that we have. It will give you a lot more information about this process, especially in the state of Maryland, and some of the things that you want to be on the lookout for. And one more thing before I go, because I want to make sure that you understand this. If you do go ahead and try to reach out to me by email, be sure to contact me from an email address that you do check frequently. Sometimes we'll have individuals who will email us, and then we'll try to email them back, and there'll be issues in regards to the email address. So just make sure that you email us from a working email account that you frequently check. All right, that's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm one of the childbirth injury and medical malpractice attorneys practicing law at Boston Law Group, LLC in the state of Maryland, and we will see you next time. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.